Okay, in this demonstration, I am going to try and combine painting and some previous jelly plate prints that I made and other collage material, and I'm going to try and do it in a fun, loose way for those of you that are focusing on Christmas cards or cards of any kind. This might tie into it nicely. I cut up some Bristol board, 5.5 by 7. You could really go any size that you want. I chose to do small, quick studies. And once you get comfortable with that, if you want to expand and go larger or go on a canvas, that's fine. Okay, I'm trying to use up some of this Van Dyke Brown acrylic paint. And you don't have to roll it on the jelly plate. I'm just doing that to keep my work surface clean for when I bring in collage material. Okay, so using my Brayer and then just doing some spontaneous rolling with the Brayer. I can also do a little bit of scraping if I want, either with a stick, or I got this new palette knife that has, I guess I'm going to call it teeth in there. Okay, so that would be, that's one, it's going to be a base for building collage material on, and then more paint. And I can, if it's a smaller Brayer, I can kind of curve it to get a little bit of movement in there. Okay, so all right. And you don't have to use open acrylic for this if you work a little bit faster. All right, so here's some ones that I created very quickly and spontaneously earlier. And I'll try and complete a few of them. All right. Okay, so here's one I started working on. This is part of a jelly print that I cut out. And kind of like the Jane Davies video, I'm working fairly quickly. So this is one, and then maybe think of 2 other items. I'm using a glue stick just for expediency's sake right now. If you want to use Mod Podge, that's fine. Okay, so here's my foundation of one. There's going to be more, but I think right now I just want to get the big picture going, and then I'll come back and do some more details. So you can really use anything you want. These are candy wrappers. I'm telling everyone, save your candy wrappers. I like them. And you can bring in magazine imagery if you want. Okay, so here's part of a print that I pulled last week. So when you're looking at your print, sometimes it's a little overwhelming. Like, well, I've got this whole nice thing, you know, where do I start cutting things out? So I would look for areas of interest. So like this shape, maybe some of these patterns. And you have to be willing to cut into your work. It may not, the piece might not work, but then I would save it in a smaller little scrap bin that I can rifle through later and pull out pieces to use. And a great way of working on composition. Like, see, that seems too big. Maybe that's okay. It might even be thin slivers of print. Okay, so here's 3. Now I'm going to add some more either collage material and then probably a little bit of paint. This was from a box of C's candy. I thought the wrapping paper was great. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of black and white, makes it kind of snappy. Let's see, I want to use some, I'm getting into metallic papers. Add a little bit of pop. Not sure about that one, kind of a funny one. So I usually just kind of shuffle things around, and at a certain point, the pieces either drop into place or they don't. So trying to make quick decisions here. So this was part of another Gelli print that I cut out. A little bit of maybe a doorway there. This is an odd one. So the great thing about doing a bunch of these is, you know, like I'm pretty happy with these two. Not so sure about this one. It's strange, but I'm going to keep trying here. Okay, I'm going to leave this one for the moment, and I'm going to focus on these two. And I'm going to add a little bit of paint and maybe some pencil marks. Okay, so I could use regular pencil, or I could use different colored charcoal pencils. And I seem to have this movement going this way, so I think I'll put in some marks. And there's a little bit of this, I don't know if it's sienna colored there, so I'm going to add a little bit more with the charcoal pencil. And I'm making the marks to kind of accentuate the movement of the brayer that's going on. And normally when I do this sort of thing, I'm not working this quickly, but I'm moving fast because I don't want the recording to be too long. All right, so now I think I'm going to add a little bit of this light phthalo green paint, probably just like a little raised impasto glob to give some contrast of dimension. Just have to figure out where I want to put it. And I love this new small palette knife with the comb tool because I can scrape through. So I'm globbing that on almost like it's a wax seal or a little jewel. It's kind of how I'm thinking of it. Okay, so that's a pretty good foundation. There might be one or two other little things that I want to add, but that's a quicker, I think, fresher, more spontaneous approach than to the video I did on Monday. So I hope that helps.